Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, The Book Traveler. My name is Star, and contrary to what you have seen or not seen on this channel, I actually do read books, I actually do book reviews, and I actually do book wrap-ups and hauls. I even have the footage to prove it. So the first book that I picked up is called Afterworlds by Scott Westerfield. I've never read Scott Westerfield, actually never even heard of him until I saw the book cover because the book cover is so beautiful that I picked it up. I originally thought this book was about witches and wolves, but it's not. It's basically about a girl who can see ghosts. So what's really cool about this book is that it's told in alternating chapters. The first we have Darcy's point of view as she is navigating NYC, and her first relationship is really more of a coming of age story and learning how to young adult. And then we have Lizzie's story. Lizzie is the protagonist in Darcy's book Afterworlds. So we are seeing Afterworlds be written as Darcy is going through her journey of living in New York. Lizzie has a incident where she is the lone survivor of a terrorist incident, and so it's kind of sort of dealing with grief, more so dealing with the after result of learning that she can see ghosts and communicate with ghosts and different people in the afterworlds. And so that was really interesting. I've never really read a book in that point of view and that take. So first I want to say that I did enjoy the book a little bit. I would rate it like a 3 out of 5. It was okay. It was a very long book, but I didn't mind too much. I just had a lot of criticism for the author once I realized that Darcy was a person of color and that she was LGBT and that the author was a straight white male. And I'm just like, how can Darcy's story be authentically told? I know the story is not about Darcy's culture. That's not what the book is about, but there was enough references to her culture, and there was a bit of shaming of Darcy. There was a bit of shaming towards Darcy about using her culture in a way that benefited her in her book, and I just found that problematic. There was accusations of Darcy culture appropriating her religion of being Hindu because it made her hero in the book hot, and Darcy had to grapple with that. And then it was just kind of like a skip over of like different things that I felt like would be relevant to a first generation family, as far as Darcy being very Americanized, being very independent, of moving to New York by herself, kind of just like being LGBT, like those 3 things. And then Darcy, like 4th thing, Darcy being like a brown person and just being surrounded by white people. Like there was like hints of it, but it was like there's more to the story that could be interwoven in the fact that Darcy made her protagonist white because she thought, like, to me, she thought like it would like mass appeal, but she made like the hero in her protagonist story Indian. And so I just found like parts of the book very problematic. Like I like the overarching idea of the story, but I just really couldn't get with how the author represented Darcy. And I might be wrong because I'm not Indian, but if I put myself in the shoes of someone that is just a person of color and having their culture be represented by someone who kind of feels like they just Wikipedia'd their culture, it's just like, okay, what's next? So yeah, I read it. I didn't really love it. Really felt like there could have been a little bit more exploration or a little bit more emphasis on Darcy's culture and like reality of being first generation and LGBT and living amongst a whole bunch of white people in New York and not really dealing with anybody that's persons of color. And the fact that she got accused of cultural appropriation, and then they were like, but I can't do that because I'm white. And it's just like, how is that even relevant? Yeah, I just couldn't get it. So the next 2 books that I read are from the Diviners series by Libba Bray. The first book is The Diviners, and the second book is called Lair of Dreams. So really quick backstory on the Diviners series. It is basically about a group of teens who have special powers. I kind of feel like it's a little bit like X-Men powers, and they live in the 1920s, 1930s New York. And of course this is the age of very blatant sexism and racism and just misogynistic practices, and apparently 17-year-olds can drink gin whenever they want and smoke. Now first, these books are hella long, but I enjoyed them. I like long books. I'm like one of the rare people who likes long books. First, let's start off with The Diviners. Hated it. hated it in the beginning because I was just like, I hate Evie O'Neill's character. I think she's whiny, she's bratty, she's very selfish, self-serving, and she's kind of boring because she kind of just throws the same temper tantrums, and she's just very like, she's just very unlikable. So clearly you can tell that I detest Evie O'Neill with everything in my body. But the premise of the story is that once Evie moves from Ohio to New York to live with her Uncle Will and his ward Jericho, they are called upon to solve a series of murders dealing with dark magic and evilness. And the stories are really good as far as like solving the murder crimes. There are a lot of interwoven stories with other diviners that Evie interacts with. And one thing that I found was interesting is that you can't tell who a diviner is. So it happens to be that most of Evie's friends are diviners that have secret powers or have knowledge about diviners, but they're not sharing their secrets, which makes for a very interesting book. I feel like a lot of things could have been solved if people talk to each other, but that's the purpose of a book, is that no one knows what's happening, and it makes the story even more juicy. So once I finished Diviners, I picked up the second novel, Lair of Dreams, and I enjoyed it so much more than Diviners because one, there's less Evie, and then two, there's more plot to the story, there's more world building, there's more character building. We find out a lot more about different characters who are diviners, and there are some parts that I found frustrating, like when we go to Chinatown, and there was a great emphasis on the concentration camps, of the strategic separating of the different foreigners. You can tell there's a lot of xenophobicness that were happening, and I love that Libba Bray brought that into the story. It was a very accurate reflection of what was happening in the 20s, and come on, let's just say this, 2016, hello Donald Trump, xenophobic. I'm really excited for book 3. I just want more stronger storylines for Memphis and for Theta, and I also want a stronger storyline for Jericho, and I want to learn more about what's happening with Will. Those are the key things that I am interested in for book 3 of the series Diviners. And I love this book so much. This book is set in 19th century India during British colonialism, and it's about the Jahanese ruler Queen Lakshmi, or Queen Rani, and about her story of how she didn't surrender, how she fought against British colonialism, and it's told from the unique perspective of her guard and close confidant, Sita. And I love this because we get to explore and learn a little bit more about India, and I love the authenticness of the story. You can tell that it was researched, you can tell that it wasn't just Wikipedia, and you can tell that it's just very much so ultimate girl power, feminism, womanism, everything that you could want for your protagonist to be and for what you want women's life to be. It explores the different caste systems in India. It explores the relationships between men and women, and about falling in love and identity and just coming of age story. And it kind of just makes you feel brave and it makes you feel courageous, and I just really enjoyed this book so much, and I can't wait to read more by Michelle Moran. I see that she has 3 other books that she's written about great women in history, so I can't wait to pick those up and check them out. So as you can see, I did read a ton of books in February and March, and not too many books in April, and I'm okay with that. A couple weeks I will be hauling my May TBR for you all. I'm really excited for my May TBR because I started a book club. This is very ironic, I know, that I started a book club, but I started a book club in my city, and our first book that we're going to read is The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins, and I'm really excited to read that book. It was actually my pick, and that's what we all voted for, so I'm really excited to read that. So yeah, I will have a May TBR coming to you all very soon, I promise. And I hope you guys enjoyed this little wrap up, this little update about what's been happening in my life and the books that I've read. If you want to catch up with me and follow me for sure about what I'm doing in my everyday life, go check out and subscribe to my main channel, 87 Pages. Follow me on Snapchat, follow me on Instagram, and go ahead and like my Facebook page. All my information will be down below in the description box. And I will talk to you guys later. Have a great day, have a great life, and drink some wine. Bye, guys. There's something in there. I think it's tuna. Do you like tuna?
Yeah. Shove it in your mouth.
Shut up.
It's good. It's good.